Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of Discmania's 303 Open. Thank you to our presenting sponsors for making this coverage possible: Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth by the world's strongest disc golfer herself, Emily Dale.
Our final round, we're going to be seeing Emma Arp come back. She's leading the event right now with a -2 event. Emily Yale will be back as well, my name twin. She's a few strokes behind, but still close. Great rated rounds so far. Amy Vrana as well, joining our lead card for the final round. We saw some great drives from her in round 2. And last but not least, Erikah Weir will be rounding out our lead card for the 303 Open.
Should be a really exciting finish.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you to D-Town Disc Golf for sponsoring hole 1. It is a par 3, 278 feet. We do have OB long on the basket, as well as the fun hill that the basket is placed on. A lot of the players will go hyzer around the tree, but we'll possibly see some turnovers or straight shots right at it. I don't see any gooses today, so fewer obstacles for round 3.
Good to see. Emma played a really solid second round we watched on coverage to give herself a 5-stroke cushion. We'll see if she'll be able to keep that coming into the final day. It looks like a great start out with going with that hyzer around the tree. Hopefully give herself a birdie look on hole 1. Here's Emily Yale, the 2020 U.S. Women's Amateur Champion. She likes the big hyzer route as well.
And that looked pretty good. It might be a little bit high on the hill, but she should be looking right at the basket.
Yep.
This is one of those holes that's always challenging because you can't really see where your disc is landing, so players always have that roulette as they're walking up to see what their next shot's going to look like. As we see Amy landing on top of the hill. Erikah making some last minute decisions. We saw her with a lot of great forehands on round 2, so we'll see if she leans into that coming into this final round at all.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like she's lining up the wide hyzer here. Pulls it a little bit, but it should be safe. There's plenty of space over there on the right-hand side, but likely we're going to see a layup from her. Just try to get the par here on 1. It's tough to run that putt if you're short, anywhere short of the basket, because it is quite a bit downhill once you get to the green.
So you can see she's over here on the right-hand side, just opting to lay up. Although her layup came a little bit shorter than she might have liked, leaving her with a tester for the first putt of the final round. As we see Emily giving it a soft bid. Looks like that checked up there.
I like the effort. I mean, if any of these 3 women on the card are going to make up strokes on Emma, they're going to have to get some birdies today, because like we saw in round 2, Emma's just so consistent off the tee that I doubt she's going to be giving up many strokes to the field. So it's going to take something special to chase her down. As Erikah's a bit off there on her par putt, just kind of leaks it a bit left. Maybe some final round nerves coming into play here. She's able to clean up there nicely. Oh, the double nub.
Those are the ones you just got to shake off and keep on going. Great par putt there from Emily.
Yeah, nice confident stroke there. Emma will tap in her par here and get this round going.
Looks like we have a spotting from some of our other players in the back as they're finishing their round as well. As we head into hole 2, so hole 2, we have the big par 5 sponsored by Reaper Disc Golf. 855 feet. Players have to navigate this uphill shot off the tee. they do have OB to contend with the pavilion, the pathway, and then they do have to take the Mando route around the ball field. Since the ball field is OB, they can't take any shortcuts. They do have to take the long way around.
Yeah, and it is definitely a long way around. This whole play is much longer than 8:55. Like you said, uphill the whole way. So players are just trying to bite off as much distance as they can off the tee. This looks like a pretty good pull from Emma to get over that path and well a ways up the hill. If you'd like to kind of hug the fences, not right up on it, but hug it as much as possible to kind of make the distance around the ball field a little bit shorter. But on the first tee shot, it doesn't really matter too much if you're going left or right, as long as you're progressing up that fairway.
This looks like a good pool. It might be a little bit on the right-hand side. We'll have to see what she has to look at going into her second shot.
Yeah, you'd really like to clear that path if possible to try to get a little bit flatter footing. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with a tougher uphill run up. And yeah, it looks like Amy's going to opt for the standstill here. It's a little bit of turn on that. That'll work out just fine. Going to fade out to the left, which will make her third shot a bit farther. Probably just going to have to play for par, but not bad position. This is more what you're looking for from Emily. Just hug that fence, push the fairway. That'll give her a nice angle in towards the green.
And this looks like it's a little bit pooled here from Amy, although it does hyzer back into the middle of the fairway there. That should give her a look as we see a great landing zone here from Emma as she executes another great shot here to put her in a pretty good position to look beat down at the basket.
Yeah, I mean, both the second and third round, we've seen Emma consistently outdriving her other card mates by 50 feet or so. And that definitely comes in handy out here where a lot of these longer par 4s and 5s distance can help, really make these holes a lot easier to break down.
Absolutely. And we do have this strange structure here that you see in the center of the screen with the porta potty. That is a no penalty hazard area. So if players do land in that area, they'll be able to take relief behind it, which may not be the best for them.
Yeah, not ideal, but you can make it work if you need to. That's a nice forehand from Erikah. Should get around that porta potty. Yeah, and here's where Emma's second shot landed. So she'll have a turnover in towards the green.
That can flatten out. That will be great. There is OB on the far side of those trees, but it looks like she checked up. And here's that fun structure that Emma is going to have to navigate to take her approach shot into the basket.
Maybe a little unintentional bank shot there. Catches the fence, kicks her left, but luckily does check up short of that out of bounds that you mentioned. As Amy goes a bit deep on her upshot, that'll leave her a maybe circle's edge putt. Erikah likes to opt for the forehand for these kind of approaches. Just puts a little flex on that one. Works out just fine. Nice approach here from Emma as well. Leave herself with a pretty easy par.
Great upshot there from Emily. As we see this tough straddle from Amy with that low-hanging branch in front of her, it always makes a challenge, but she'll tap in for a bogey there and move on to the next one.
Yeah, it's tough, especially for Amy's putt. She has a very steep hyzer putt, very up and down. So anytime you get a low ceiling like that and kind of have to switch to more of a nose up spinner style, can be tough to adjust.
Do you just want me to pick you up?
No pickups today, unfortunately. But those are basically gimmies if you had to had to count him as such.
Absolutely. Hole 3, sponsored by Cosmic Disc Golf, is a par 3, 374 feet. We do have this marshy, tall grass area that is OB, as well as that pond. The basket location is actually going to be about 100 feet to the right side of where we're seeing in this drone coverage. So a lot of players are going to take a wide hyzer or forehand shot to the basket just to stay safe, as we see Emma throwing a little bit low, but should check up and have a nice easy approach up to the basket.
Yeah, that's a safe play, is to just keep the disc low to the ground. You don't want to get too much left movement towards the end of your flight because, like you said, that OB can come in quick. This one is going to be in danger if it doesn't get down quickly. Yeah, spotter doesn't like it. That's out of bounds.
So Emily's going for that forehand play, which is, I think, a little bit safer, as long as you can keep it from turning over. And this is looking like a great shot here from Emily.
Yeah, aggressive line. She puts a little bit of flex on it to get a little bit of extra distance. Checks up nicely. Probably a little bit short, but still a great shot. This is looking nice from Amy. Puts a good amount of turn. There's plenty of space inbounds to the right over there. Obviously, a little bit right of the more right of the basket than she'd like, but well inbounds, and she might have a long birdie look as well.
So we can see what Emma's left with. She's just going to take that approach. The grass around the basket on this hole is grabby. It's a little bit longer. We've seen some of the other holes have more of that hard pan. So this one's kind of a safe one to give that soft bid because you're not going to skip far away.
Yep. Our player's not messing with that, though. Just happy to lay up these longer circle 2, maybe if not longer putts. Which I don't blame him, you know. Final day, the nerves are there. You don't want to be giving yourself consistent 15, 20-foot comebackers because that kind of weighs on you as the round goes.
You can see all these fun little Twizzler twigs that we have been talking about throughout the coverage that make the course even more challenging to navigate. We haven't seen the leaves come in yet, but those branches are definitely in play.
For sure.
See our card just tapping out some par putts here. Oh. And an unfortunate break there for Emily. These are those putts that we've talked about, I think, in all rounds. You just got to take the time, take the breath, focus on the putt. We've all been there. We've all had those quick putts that spit out, and you see Erikah not wanting anything to do with that as she does take a bogey with her OB stroke. Hole 4 is the par 3, 323 feet, sponsored by BS Upshot Tournaments and Shop. So the players do have to make it through the gap off the tee. The OB area is kind of in that gully below there with the creek. There is an OB line on the far side that they do have to clear in order to be safe. If they do not make it through, they will proceed to the drop zone.
Come out first. Doesn't even know that the gap's there. It's a really nice looking shot. Fades out a little bit to the left, but she'll still have some sort of birdie look from over there. Once you get through this gap, it is pretty open, so hitting the gap is priority number 1.
Oh, great reaction.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse for Amy. Catches some Twizzlers, but fights through. Erikah able to make the correction off of the previous day and pierce that gap with the forehand. That's a nice shot. Pull it a
this is
little.
looking a little turned over, but through the gap, that's what matters. She'll just
For
have
sure.
a little bit longer upshot.
Nice upshot there from Amy. Came up a bit short after catching some of those limbs. See a couple outside birdie looks from the rest of the card. These putts are a lot more uphill than you can tell on camera, so definitely, if you're going to give it a bid, you got to fully commit. Otherwise, it has some good commitment there from Emily, but most players just happy to lay him up and take the pars. Doing a good job of going through the routine there. Don't want to miss another short one.
Yep. Lesson learned. Take the time as we see the rest of the card. Clean up some pars here, headed from hole 4 into hole 5. I love seeing the smiles on everybody's faces. You can just tell that the mood is great on this card, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah, we love the good vibes.
Absolutely. So hole 5, sponsored by On Your Card, is a par 4, 425 feet with a ton of danger. So we have the water that's OB, we have this pump house that can be a fun obstacle, and then we have that pathway that weaves throughout the hole on the left-hand side that is OB as well. At only 425 feet, this is a soft par 4, but with all this danger, there's definitely a lot that can happen as you see her calling for this to get over, and she plays for this again and absolutely executes. I love the commitment to that peninsula play.
Wow, yeah, it's bold for sure. Not the biggest landing zone on the hole, but definitely sets you up in the best spot for the birdie. So nicely done. This is more what you're going to see from most players is that bailout zone on the left-hand side. There's a lot more ground over there as Amy's looking to follow suit. But there's that tree. Just grabs her disc and throws it back into the water. You got to beat that one if you're going to want to make it to dry ground over there on the left-hand side.
And it's always so frustrating, right? When you're just saying, I'm opting for the safe play, and then something like that happens.
Yeah.
Always so punishing. So we see a good shot there from Emily. She'll have a safe approach, but it'll have the structure there to contend with as she looks to head into the green.
Oh, Erikah Weir, what are you doing? Be safe.
Erikah wasn't happy with that one, but it looked like still out of bounds. Unfortunately, the line is not quite the water. There's a painted or flagged line that's slightly above that, and it looks like she found the land. That is also out of bounds. That's a tough break.
You love seeing that safe indication as we see what Emily is looking at. She's opting for that turnover. And it looks like she stays in bounds. She'll be pushing that left-hand side OB, but does stay safe as we see what Emma is left with after her little peninsula play. Further back from the sign today, executes perfectly, gets up there for a nice little tap and birdie look.
Yeah, really nice shot. Played the hole super cleanly. That was Emily's birdie putt from circle's edge, just a bit left. Good cleanup there from Amy after the early out of bounds off the tree.
Good cleanup there for Emily as well. And here's that reward for taking the dangerous route. And I will give a shout out as well. Natalie Ryan was able to snag the eagle on this hole. Like we mentioned earlier, it's definitely there. It just takes that full commitment to get up there for that birdie look as we see Erikah tapping out a bogey here from her unfortunate OB kick as well. Hole 6, par 3, 233 feet, slippery saucers disc golf sponsored this hole. So we do have this tricky navigation off the tee. The players have to clear that water and avoid those Twizzlers. They are playing to the hill, but they do not have to worry about the path. The path is not OB for this hole. They do, however, have to worry about the branches that are somewhat hard to see when they're bare. As we see Emma just executing another perfect shot. Should put her in a good look for birdie.
Yeah, this is pretty much just a straight shot. You want a little bit of left to right movement to kind of make the gap as big as possible. We saw both of those players do that really well. Just kind of make sure you give the disc enough height. This one's a little low, but finds the gap, and that'll work out just fine.
So you're laughing as she rides the road there to give her a good forward skip.
Four really good shots.
Yeah. So you see when you're landing up a little bit higher on this hill, you do have to have a trickier upshot to get around these tree branches, but no problem for our forehand specialist here as she does another great upshot.
Open look for Amy. Good effort, just comes up a bit short. And that look from circle 2. So here's Emily for birdie. Downhill look. She connects.
Beautiful commitment, beautiful putt. Great birdie to get. She likes it.
Emma's even closer.
Wow.
She's got nothing more than a 12-footer. Drop that one in. That'll take her to 4 under par. Starting to pull away from our card here.
And you hate to see the rollaways, but as we know, the nubs on this basket do tend to kick them and can easily pick up, especially on this harder surface, to roll away.
Yeah, just a part of the game you have to accept. Collect yourself, make the comebacker. I always tell myself, if you make the putt, they don't roll away. So easier said than done, but
nice words of wisdom, Nathan. Nice words of wisdom.
Thank you.
Good par there. She's happy with it. So hole 7, sponsored by Link Disc Golf. It's par 3, 349 feet. It is downhill, playing to the basket behind this bush that you see in the center of the fairway. We do have a lot of OB on this hole. So we have the path that is OB along the left-hand side. We do have the property line OB on the right-hand side. Do you like the forehand play here or the backhand play? We've seen both from players across the past few days.
At least for Emma here, I like the forehand. You know, with the lead, I like the safer play. This is over inbounds for almost in the entire flight. So and that was super smooth. Probably came up a bit short, but yeah, like a par here is just fine. If you're taking that backhand line, it brings in a lot more danger into play.
And this looks great. I like that low forehand hyzer approach there from Emily. That looks like I should have gotten her up there pretty close to that basket.
Yeah, she should have a birdie putt. This is the backhand we talked about. The height is good. This will keep her in bounds, but likely will come up a bit short, giving it that much height. Still a good shot though.
And this looks a little bit turned over. Hopefully this can check up and get back in bounds. And unfortunately, it does stay OB, but as you mentioned earlier, going OB from the forehand does get you further up the fairway, as she almost throws that in.
Yeah, good run. So we got a couple long birdie looks. This one, there is OB fairly close behind the basket on the left-hand side. So if you have that putt that Amy had there, or the same putt that Emma has, not really runnable. Especially if you've got an 8-stroke lead on your card baits. you're going to want to play that one safer. Emily, she's got to give this at least a bid from just inside the circle, but luckily that one stays in bounds.
Some tough breaks here from Emma. You can see where that OB line is, which does make it hard when it's in your head. There's that OB right there. It's hard to fully commit knowing that it's a skippy green, but you see Emily does a great job there connecting for her par putt.
Yeah, any putter that lands on some angle here going downhill, there's a good chance that that's going to pop up and roll out of bounds. So want to make sure, at least if you're going to run it, at least land your putter as flat as possible. So you just get a little bit of slide, if anything. So we'll see a par. Oh no, just a little high left there from Amy. Basket does not like it. Tough break to grab a bogey, but Emma's still consistent. It's another par. She's loving life.
Absolutely. So hole 8 is another par 5, 748 feet, sponsored by Double Helix. We do have the hazard bush on the left-hand side, as well as an OB line on the right and left. And then, of course, the lake that you see there is OB as well. Players are going to want to push as straight as they can with a little bit of a hyzer finish. You don't want to push too far down the hill because that'll make your second shot a little trickier. So as straight as you can is really the name of the game here.
Emma had a really nice shot on this hole in round 2. We'll see if she's able to replicate. Doesn't quite commit as much as she would like. This is going to be pretty far down the hill. Should be safe. Yeah, it's emphatic spotter. But it's going to be tricky. It's going to play a lot farther from there to try to get her birdie, as opposed to if she was higher up on the hill.
Oh, God.
And Emily, unfortunately, makes the same mistake. This is going to fade out quite a ways as well.
Probably not the worst kick.
And it looks like we had a safe play, but that's going to be in the rough there. So that's going to be a challenging second shot. This is more what we like to see. So pushing straighter, she'll end up a little bit higher in the hill. It does fade out quite a bit. Spotter of the Year award.
Yes, for sure.
Love the enthusiasm there.
Definitely. Let's see if anybody can. There's kind of like a second flat area that's just below this road that you see. I think that's probably what Erikah's drive is going to find, because that looked really nice. Nice and low, nice and straight. Should land fairly softly. Okay, this is the flat area I was talking about. So Emily must have gotten a nice kick off of those trees.
Oh.
This doesn't turn, though. This could find that OB right side of the path. And it does.
So some tricky footing here for Emma. You can see the players are going to that larger tree that you can see on that far right-hand side of the screen. That's what they're aiming for. The basket's under that area. Unfortunately, Emma comes up a little bit low, doesn't clear the hill, so she'll still have some work to do to get up there.
Fades out a little left for Amy, but that's fine. Like we've said on a lot of these par 5s, forward progress, put yourself in the opens area. The fairways are fairly large, so that's all you can really ask for. They do, some of them do play pretty far, but these shorter ones, as long as you're consistently making your way up the fairway, you should have a chance to get an outside birdie look.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for a lot of these players, a 48-foot par 5 might seem very short, but you can see the dangers that come with it, with all of the OB elevation changes that make it trickier and hard to get that birdie.
For sure.
As we see a good recovery shot here from Emily that'll leave her still with a longer look.
This is where Amy's second landed. That's nice. Has a nice gap. Able to slide it up on the hard pin ground. That should give her a birdie putt. And Erikah, she's going to have a birdie look as well after that nice little forehand approach. So Emma's third leaks out a little bit to the left, so she'll have a longer putt than I'm sure she would like for her par. But we'll go to Emily first. This is for her par after going OB on the second, and she drains it from circle 2. What an effort. Great par save.
Great putt. Great commitment. Yeah, what a great result there. Really good commitment. Nice putt, as you see. Emma is a little bit further out, but inspired by Emily's putt. Let's see if she can connect, and she does.
Super smooth putt there. She's looking confident today. Woke up feeling dangerous. Here's Erikah now. This is for birdie. She connects.
Great putts. Love to see it.
Amy's the closest of the bunch. She drops that one in for birdie as well. Nice putting from our card here. 2 under on the hole.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Great performance there. So hole 9, wrapping up the front 9, is going to be a par 3, 358 feet, sponsored by Elevation Disc Golf. We do have the lake, of course, that's OB. There's the ball fields as well. And anybody that does not clear that on the tee shot would go to a drop zone. Players are opting for that hyzer play to push behind this large guardian tree. Try to stay safe.
Yeah, it looked like Amy faded a bit in front of it. Still in bounds, it should be fine, but she's going to have a tricky putt, if any, from there. You really want to make sure you hang it out nice and wide to the right-hand side as Erikah just catches that tree you mentioned. Leave her about 30, 40 feet short of the basket. This one's a little low from Emma, but just press the hill. That'll be safe. Quite a bit short.
This looks like it has the height to get around that tree as long as it can check up. Does come up a little bit short in front of it. Should give her some of a look though, a little bit longer, as we see the bid here from Amy.
Yeah, I think we're just going to see a bunch of circle 2 putts here, most likely. That's where Erikah's drive landed after catching the tree. It looked like she didn't really have much of a look from there. Emily's did fight quite a bit after coming up inside the tree, but she's not able to connect there from circle's edge. Wow, and Emma's shot turned out great after coming out a little bit low. Fought through the tall grass. She's able to connect for the birdie.
Great birdie there.
The rest of the card's going to tap out their pars, and Emma's opened up a 9-stroke lead on the rest of her card in the final round of this year's Discmania's 303 Open. But you're not going to want to miss the back 9 because the chase card is pushing. We're going to have an exciting finish coming up.
Yes, lots going on. Thank you so much to the Norse gods for sponsoring this, as well as all of our Patreon family for their support as well. You don't want to miss the back 9. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join us there.